Hello friends. Welcome back to the story of the Golden Bird. Today I will tell you the second part of the story. When he had traveled a bit, he became hungry and, taking up his knapsack, he sat down to have something to eat, and just as he was doing this, a fox came out from a grove of fir trees, and sat down to watch. "Oh, pray give me a little of your food," said the fox. "I may well need all I have for myself," said the prince, "for I don't know how far I shall have to travel," he said. "But I have so much that I can at least give you a little." When the fox had a piece of meat to chew on, he asked the king's son where he was going. "Well, that he told him. 'If you will listen to me, I will help you, and luck will be with you,' said the fox. The prince promised, and then they went along together. They traveled for some time until they came to the same city and the inn, where there was always joy and never sorrow. "I'm afraid I shall have to stay away from here, for the dogs are so troublesome," said the fox, and then he told the prince where his brothers were and what they were doing. "And if you go in there, you will never come any farther," he added. The prince promised, and gave him his hand on it, that he would not go inside, and then each one went his own way. But when the prince came to the inn and heard the music and merriment, he had to go in, no question about it. And when he met his brothers, there were such carryings on that he forgot about the fox, and the journey, and the golden bird, and his father as well. But when he had been there a while, the fox came. He had ventured into the city after all, and opened the door a crack and winked at the prince, and said that now they must be on their way. So the king's son came to his senses again, and then they set out. When they had traveled for a while, they saw a huge mountain in the distance, and the fox said, 300 miles beyond that mountain is a gilded linden tree with leaves of gold, and in that linden tree sits the golden bird which the feather comes from." There they traveled together. As the king's son was about to go over and catch the bird, the fox gave him some pretty feathers, which he was to wave and lure the bird down, so it would come flying and perch on his hand. But the fox warned him not to touch the linden tree, for a big troll owned it, and if he touched even the smallest twig, the troll would come and kill him on the spot. No, the king's son certainly would not touch it, he said. But when the bird was perched on his hand, he felt he had to have one twig from the linden tree. He couldn't help himself, it was so bright and fine. So he took just a tiny one. But at the same moment the troll came out. "Who's stealing my linden tree and my bird?" roared the troll, and he was so angry that sparks flew from his eyes. "A thief thinks that every man steals," said the prince, "but only the one who doesn't steal cleverly enough is hanged." The troll said it made no difference, and wanted to kill him. But the king's son pleaded that his life should be spared. "Well, well," said the troll, "if you can bring back the horse which my nearest neighbor stole from me, I will spare your life." "But where will I find him?" asked the king's son. "He lives 300 miles beyond that mountain which is blue on the horizon," said the troll. The king's son promised to do his best, but when he came to the fox, he was far from pleased. "Now you have got us in a bad mess," said the fox. "If only you had listened to me, we would have been on our way home by now." They had to set out on the way again, since it was a matter of life and death and the king's son had promised. And after a while they came to the stable where the prince was to find the horse. But when he was going in to take the horse, the fox said, "When you get inside the stable, you will see many bridles, both of silver and gold, hanging on the wall. But you must not touch them, for then the troll will come and slay you on the spot. You must only take the ugliest and most worn-out one you see there." Well, the king's son promised to do as he was told, but when he got inside the stable, he thought it was downright unreasonable, for there were plenty of fine ones, and so he took the shiniest he could find, and it was as bright as gold. But at that very moment the troll came out, and he was so angry that the sparks flew. "Who's stealing my horse and my bridle?" he shrieked. "A thief thinks that every man steals," said the king's son, "but only the one who doesn't steal cleverly enough is hanged. Just the same, I am going to kill you on the spot," said the troll. But the king's son thought his life should be spared. "Well, well," said the troll, "if you can bring back the lovely maiden my nearest neighbor has stolen from me, I shall spare your life." "Where does he live, then?" asked the king's son. "Oh, he lives 300 miles back of that big mountain which looks blue on the horizon," said the troll. Well, the king's son promised to bring back the maiden, and then he was allowed to go, and got away with his life. But when he came outside, the fox wasn't very happy, you might know. "Now you have got us into a terrible mess again," said the fox. "If only you had listened to me, we could have been on the way home long ago. Now I have a good mind not to stay with you any longer."